In today's video, I'm going to take the Samsung Galaxy Book 4 Edge, which is the newest laptop from Samsung, and it runs on the Snapdragon X Elite, which is an ARM processor. I've done a 24-hour review on this, and I tried to do some gaming on it. And the game I actually tried was Fortnite. And the problem with Fortnite and Epic Games in general right now is they do not support ARM processors. Will they in the future? Hopefully, at least on the Windows side, they don't. So that's the problem. I couldn't run the game. So I downloaded Steam and I downloaded a few games, and I have those games. And I'm gonna play a few of the games. And I'll tell you right off the bat, don't expect anything crazy amazing with any 3D type game. But you'll kind of see that as I play it. So without further ado, let's jump into this. All right, so here's the first game I'm going to show you. It's called Gun Night All Day, and it is I guess a dungeon crawler type game. I really don't know what they call these games, but these types of games run really, really well on the Galaxy Book 4 Edge. I've had absolutely zero problems with them. Can I buy something from this guy? I can buy a full heart if I want. Ooh, nice. Do I even have enough money? Whatever. We'll go back to him later. We'll just go to the next part. Go to this. But this type of game where you are just shooting these little bad guys runs really well. Really smooth. You can see 60 frames per second, hopefully, in the top of the screen. Hopefully you can see that. It just looks really, really good. It plays really good. Oh, I died right there. But these games, I've had no problems with these types of games. Now here is Dinkum. I did have it playing in maximum resolution, and that was at like the 2800 by whatever it is, 1800 or something resolution. I pushed it down to, and it was getting like 30, 40 frames per second. I dropped it down to 1080p, 1920 by 1280, because it's a 16 by 10 aspect ratio, and now it's getting over 60 frames per second. It looks smoother. The graphics still look really good, and I would definitely play it in this. Even at 30 to 40 frames per second, it still played well, but just getting that over to 60 makes this look really, really good. This is a game called Dinkum. It is a game that's won a bunch of awards recently, or maybe not recently, a couple years back. But these kind of games, it's 3D. It looks great. I think it looks really nice. It kind of looks like a Nintendo Wii type game. And these are fun little games to play on the road. You're on a plane. These are the type of games you could play on a mouse and keyboard, or like I'm using a PlayStation 5 controller. And it's perfectly fine for what you get here. And I definitely would lower the resolution like I did to about 1080p and get the higher frame rates. It just feels a little bit smoother, a little bit more fluid. Even though 30 to 40 frames per second is still pretty good with this as well, but getting the extra frames is a cool little thing. So there you go. That is Dinkum. This is a Fall Guys type rip-off game. It's called Stumble Guys. This is also running, it's a 3D type game. Very simple game. Don't get me wrong, I'm not playing here a AAA title by any means. But at the same time, you are able to play these fun type games, still play 3D games, and I don't know, they're just fun little games. Oh God, I'm terrible at it, but I've played this with it unplugged or plugged in. It still plays from the same, basically what I've seen. This is getting 120 frames per second, which is what the display runs at, or almost 120. It's getting like 118. But it runs great. It looks good. And, it's another one of those kind of games that we've just previously played for the most part. All right, so I have Alan Wake here, and for some reason it's not working with my PlayStation controller. Maybe it's not compatible. I am terrible on a keyboard and mouse, so bear with me. And I feel like I'm stuck now. But I'm playing this at 1080p, and you can see there was just a bit of like stutter there. Man, this is terrible. And I haven't played this game in years. You can see I just died so quickly. But this game, even though it's really old and it's running at 1080p, I don't know what the frames are per second, but it seems playable if I was able to know how to really move on a a keyboard and mouse, it's definitely playable. It seems playable, but again, it's a really old game, so it's not a great showing of a 3D type game, but it definitely seems playable. It's not absolutely terrible. The frame rate doesn't seem super smooth either. It seems a little bit blurry when things are going on the screen. So again, it's not perfect, but you can see you can play some somewhat heavy 3D games, but I wouldn't really push it to its max. This game is called Palia, and I have it. It's a newer game. Again, it's not like a super AAA game, but it's like an online game you can play with people. So I have it set to 1920 by 1280. I'm going to apply the settings to it. I'm going to confirm it. I'm going to go to graphics quality, and you can see pretty much everything set to medium. Close out of this, resume the game. And I don't know much about this game. I want to play it with my controller. Oh no, now it's working with my controller. It's good. Before it wasn't working with my controller, but this is like a online 3D game. I would assume this is some kind of social MMO game. You jump with B. Yeah, you do. You can see you can talk to people at the bottom there. And this runs pretty good. It's running at 60 frames per second at 1080p. Press B to move forward, it's telling me. And I'm literally just starting up this game, so obviously something just happened there. The graphics changed quite a bit. Oh, what does this say? Climb, walk, run, and jump onto. So there you go. It's going to show you how to do it. So basically, this is the really early parts of this game. I would assume if I get into a very populated area of the game that things are really going to probably slow down, and I might need to decrease the quality of the game. But these types of games where when you play a 3D game, especially if it's a first-person game, like it's only one person, it's not these multiplayer games where you're going to have a lot of online people, I think things will end up being a little bit easier for this computer to handle. But there you go, I can tell me just how to get to my quests. There you go, some quests. One moment, please. You got the premium store. Let's close all that. Really just want to see, I want to kind of run into somebody, see if I can, or run into a group of people like a village or something, and see if that, if it really slows down. And again, I would assume it would. Here we go. We're getting into the village a little bit. And I could probably even downgrade the quality of this to get even, better frame rates. But even at medium settings, it's pretty cool that you can play these types of games on here. Just introducing you to these characters. Let this kind of dialogue play through. All right, so I got a quest now. Loading up. This is probably going to make some kind of cutscene, and it is. The cutscene's still playing at 60 frames per second, a solid 60 frames per second. You see something here. Looks like there's some maybe anti-aliasing going on. It seems some weird kind of stuttering going on in the... I'm going to press to skip that. But, I think this is just a good indication of like, these games are totally playful. You can make this a gaming computer to some point. I've tried, I don't own a lot of newer games on here because I'm not really a PC gamer, but the games I do have, like I tried Alan Wake, which you saw. I tried Call of Duty Black Ops 2, which I don't know if it's still even playable. I tried it, but it kept crashing. I was able to play Counter-Strike 2 earlier today, but now it's not loading up on my computer. It's like giving me a black screen. So things aren't perfect for gaming, but you can game on here. It's just, you just have to know the limitations of this and be acceptable, accept what you can really play. And these are the type of games, honestly, like I mentioned earlier, that I would be completely fine playing.
So as you can see, it's really kind of, at this point anyway, an indie laptop gaming device. Can you play 3D games? Yeah, you gotta turn everything pretty much down. You gotta set resolution sometime down to like 720p or maybe 1080p, and then it's gonna end up being at medium or or low settings most of the time. If it's an indie game, even if it's a 3D indie game, it might play pretty well even at high settings. But once you get into AAA games territory or anything close to a AAA game, it's going to be tough going. It's not that type of laptop. This is a laptop for, I guess, a little bit of photo editing, kind of, especially if the app is optimized for it. Video editing, if the app is optimized for an ARM processor. Day-to-day tasks, it's great. Have it be, doing your taxes or running your finance stuff or emailing or web browsing, watching movies, stuff like that. Social media, it's great for it. Video chatting, it's great for that stuff. But, real hard gaming, it's not, at least right now, unless they come out with games optimized for this type of processor. Right at this moment, I would keep it to indie type games. And honestly, I'm kind of fine with that. I'll leave the AAA gaming to my PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series X. I like playing on a big TV for that anyway. And I'll leave the indie games for this. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. Have a great day, and we'll see you down the road. Peace!